Aongake I te ata e te whānau. It's another beautiful week. Mondays are always the start of more life, right? So it's always beautiful. For those of you who are tuning in and watching me from like either YouTube or from my private community, iwi, morena, and I apologise in advance for my my ahua. I normally like to wear something a little bit more formal for you all in the screen, but today is I've got to get through a whole lot of mahi. So I thought, well, I'll get into my getting mahi done clothes, aka a hoodie and big earrings. So what I wanted to talk about today, this is going to podcast, to YouTube, and to iwi. Where have we got it? I'm going to read it out to you. The distractions over the last 2 years for us as the iwi Māori. Okay, that's the context. So the distractions over the last 2 years and the time that COVID has been our focus as a nation, globally, house prices where I live have almost doubled. I try to say to people, I tried back in about April 2020 to keep safe, but stay focused on whenua, whare, and whānau. That once the COVID saga is done with us, or we're done with it, which however you want to look at it, the system will put most of us right back at March 2020 in regards to our whenua and whare aspirations. And by then, it will be a bit late. So not to start and try and be all morbid for a Monday, but these are things that I've actually been thinking about and talking about to my loved ones in private. And I thought, well, I'll bring my cordial in private back out to you all. I like to paint pictures and tell a story. That's the best way to teach. That's my style. So the particular whare that we live in right now is our family home that myself and my tāne bought for, us and our children here in Wellington. We chose whenua because my children, my eldest sons, one of the reasons, are te atiawa. I'm not te atiawa, I am te arawa. But I have a very strong drive to make sure that each of my children are not tenants on their own whenua, wherever that whenua is. And for them as te atiawa boys, I didn't like the prospect of them growing up in Lower Hutt, which is their tūranga waiwai. With literally their marae and everything is just over the hill, and growing up in rented accommodation. It's not because, please do not take me wrong on that, it's not because I believe that that is lesser or lower. It is just, for me, it's the manifestation of oppression is when Indigenous people live in rented accommodation on rented land. And again, it's not judgment, it's just my personal driver. So anyway, they're te atiawa boys, and if they are to live down here, which they were living with their dad at the time, another principle of mine is I wanted them to grow up with their father for the formative years as young men. Anyway, so we bought our whare in Wainuiamata, being the place we could afford and also close to their tūranga waiwai, so that my children would be able to connect here. Well, this particular house, I think I looked at the records, and the previous owner bought it in 2016 or 17 for $215,000. Then sold it up to us for the high 400s. And that was in, I think, November 2020 we moved into it. And by April 2019, November 2019, sorry, by April 2020 or thereafter, just after the lockdown, we had it valued again. It was like $550, and then again we had it valued again sometime about a year ago, and it was like $750. And then recently, like the banks are willing, I think, to lend us up to a value of something like the high 8s. All right, so a very real example where I can give you numbers to show you how in the 2 years since COVID, just before COVID, our property has not quite doubled, but let's say 80% there, almost doubled. And what we've had is we've been bombarded with regular and consistent rhetoric and propaganda and reporting on COVID, and it is important. I am not an anti-vaxxer, anti-mandate, anti-anything person, but we were, in my view, suffering from something before a virus. And what it's done is it's actually disconnected many people, not just Māori, actually, New Zealanders, people, from what is actually an essential for survival. So air, water, shelter, whatever they are, relationships, connection. So those are the things that we actually need for survival. Viruses and these pandemics are serious, I get it. But yeah, I don't think that we need to focus on them to the point that we have to drop our survival, the things that actually help us to survive. Does that make sense? I think that we should be able to be encouraged to focus on being safe and getting through COVID and everything. Encouraged to do that, but not at the expense of our focus on our whenua, on our economic well-being, on our connection and relationships. And so that's probably the problem that I have. I have my nose out of joint, that the way that it's been put across, the COVID saga, is in such a way that it makes it feel that it's mutually exclusive, right? That you can't be careful, be safe, be healthy, and still focus on your well-being or our well-being. Anyway, so I like to keep my kōrero sort of solution focused, and that's where I am just going to get on with it. And I know many of us out there, you who are listening and watching, because you're either listening and following for a reason, let's regroup ourselves and get back on the waka of taking care of our, food, water, shelter, relationships. They're the things that allow us to thrive as human beings. And particularly, say, my kōrero to our te hunga Māori is let's really start focusing for 2022, knowing that the virus is here or the pandemic is here and the mandates are here. So let's just put them down. We don't need to focus on them daily. If we all focus daily on our putea, on our practices, such as clean banking, and on our action plans towards our whenua Māori, on our action plans towards our first homes, on our action plans towards our first investment properties, and on ensuring that we are occupying our whenua as homeowners and as tangata whenua. If we get back to putting the amount of effort we put into listening into COVID, and take that and put it into those action plans, I think that we're going to be able to keep up and come out with some good results when all this saga is over. We'll have homes, we'll have hope, and we'll be occupying our whenua. And even if those homes are just transportables, caravans, what have you, we don't want to get caught in a situation where once they're like, oh, cool, everybody's immune to COVID now and we're all 100% vaxxed and we're finished with that, the country is safe, haere tonu, get back to how everything was before. All right, Kate, bye, cool. And then you go, oh, by the way, so we really did a great job at following your mandates. We didn't go to tangihanga, we closed down our marae, we made sure that We use the marae for vaccination centres and things like that. But by the way, while we were doing that as a people, we've now noticed that homes are twice as unlikely to be affordable for us. Like, now they're really, really expensive. And to have people go, oh, sorry about that. We said isolate and don't get the virus and get vaccinated, but we didn't say don't save your money and don't plan to buy home. That was still on you. We didn't say don't do that. Sorry about that. That's not really our problem. We were just here to keep you safe from the virus. So we don't want to be hit with that, okay? Because that's what will happen. Nobody ever told, they'll say, nobody ever told you to not continue on your first home journey, okay? So let's just shake it all off and get ourselves regrouped. We have just under 50 people already wanting to get onto the clean banking waka. Let me just pop that in here. Pop the address in here so that if you're watching on YouTube or whatever, you can. So I'm going to go HTTPS. Just typing in is what is it? I'll put in my link tree link. So that's linktr_ee/ and there's white. I'm going to pop that into the chat and I'll show that on screen. And for those of you listening via the podcast, that's linktr.ee/ and there's white. I'll pop that into the episode description anyway. And that's where you can either sign up for clean banking or just come in and sign up as a member. It's a free membership to iwi. So IWI. That's my private community where I stream things like this live and things. And if you want to jump on that waka, we've got just under 50. I think there might be about enough. I don't know if I'll go too many more. And going through clean banking and then leading into the 3 streams after that. That's those who want to go into be first home buyers, those for Māori land or papakainga, and those for investors. But clean banking, so your banking practices are super, super important at the moment. A quick read why. We've got the changes to lending and how it affects you. What are the changes? The New Zealand government has made changes to how money is lent to consumers to help protect you against unaffordable debt. This means that all financial institutions in Aotearoa will be taking extra steps to ensure loans are both suitable and affordable for the applicant. It may therefore take you longer to complete a loan application, as additional information will be needed to assess your financial situation. The loans are being made to ensure you can pay off a loan without getting into financial difficulty. Lenders will now need to make specific inquiries into your needs and objectives to help ensure the loan is suitable. In addition to effectively assessing your income and expenses to ensure they are satisfied that the repayments will not cause financial hardship. And what that translates to is it is almost at a forensic level that they will assess your financial ability or capacity to be able to repay your loan. And a lot more people are missing out. Okay, so clean banking is really just about preparing you for how you have to behave in the weeks leading up to applying for a loan, a home loan, whether that's through our iwi credit union model or any bank or any lender. They all have to abide by these same rules. I think that's enough. Yeah, you know what to do. Either come along into the iwi group, just continue to listen. But really, I'd like you to start taking some of that energy you may have been, we all may have been putting towards COVID and our pandemic. Do what we've got to do. Be careful. But take some of that energy and start investing it into your weekly practices towards your action plan of first home ownership, occupying your whenua Māori, or investment. Yeah? Okay. Mauri ora e te whānau.